Hi guys, welcome to Penn State. This is our Poultry Education and Research Center. Here we have different faculty and graduate students that conduct different types of research experiments that are designed to help our poultry industry thrive here in Pennsylvania. We have a very diverse poultry industry here. We are the number 4 egg producing state in the country. We are the number 9 turkey producing state in the country. And we are the 14th largest broiler chicken producing state in the country. So we have a diverse and large industry here in the state. Now, more interestingly, we lead the country in organic egg production. We lead the country in organic broiler meat production. And we also lead the country in organic turkey meat production. And this has a lot to do with our proximity to a large population. We have this entire East Coast where we have large populations of people that we can access within an 8-hour drive. So we are well positioned to be able to support these people that tend to have higher expendable income to be able to spend on some of these specialty or niche market products.
Here we have week-old baby turkeys, also known as poults, which are started on these fresh shavings. And initially, we provide them with these supplemental feeders so that they can easily access the feed when they are just starting to get accustomed. And then afterward, we will move them to these feed hoppers where they will be able to more easily access the feed. Also, when these poults are young, they are unable to regulate their own body heat, so we use these supplemental heat lamps to provide them with an ample environment. These turkeys are also provided access to water, which you can see in these cup drinkers here.
So here we have a tom turkey poult. Now at the hatchery, these birds are handled and they are processed in a way that will protect the animal's health and well-being throughout its life. So if you look close at this bird, I'll hold it under the light, you can see there is a brown mark on its beak right here. And these birds were subjected to a beak trimming. And this rounds off the beak so that it's not sharp and the birds do not peck one another and cause injury or damage. If you look a little closer at these birds, you can see, calm down little guy, you can see that the toenails have a very similar mark. The toenails were also subjected to this infrared wave, once again being painless at the hatchery. Processing these birds at the hatchery and removing those toenails and letting them fall off slowly, it's a painless way to ensure that the skin integrity is held so they don't have scratches and they don't get infections that would not allow them to be processed and sold at the processing plant. So you can see I'm holding this turkey poult. This turkey weighed approximately 60 grams when it was hatched out of the egg at the hatchery. And so we're in here, we brood these turkeys, and then by 19 weeks of age, when we will process these birds, they will weigh over 50 pounds. So they have an incredible growth rate. And I had mentioned earlier that we trim the beaks, and we have to be aware that these birds can become cannibalistic. And we control that by using different lighting techniques. So you'll notice that this barn that I'm in now, the lights are very bright. And it's easy for these birds to get around the pen. They can find the feed and the water, and that's really important for early on. Now, as these birds age and mature, we will slowly reduce the light intensity, and we will control the number of light hours. So we will have 8 hours of lights off to give these birds the appropriate amount of downtime. All right, so here we are. We're looking at 11-week-old tom turkeys. You can see how much larger they are. This bird is only 11 weeks old. So these are a white, broad-breasted turkey. And you'll notice in this barn how dark it is. And I mentioned that earlier where we have the lights dimmed down to keep these birds from picking at each other and injuring one another. Now we do have some working lights that we can turn on. Go ahead, Courtney. So that we have a little bit easier time seeing in here when we're working with the birds, when we need to add feed or go through and do a daily check of health. So you can see that this barn is equipped with the ability to make it worker friendly, but during the majority of this bird's life, we do have the lights dimmed down, and that's just an effort to keep the health and welfare of this bird in mind. We want our birds to be as healthy and happy as they can be so that they perform well for us and make a nice usable product that you find at the supermarket.
When we perform research, the first thing that we have to do is ask ourselves a question. And once we have that question, we can then formulate a working hypothesis. And once we have our hypothesis, we can then pursue the research. And when we are pursuing the research, in the end, what we're going to have is a conclusion to that hypothesis. And sometimes our conclusion is not going to agree with our hypothesis, but that is okay. That is the beauty of research. We don't always know the answer.